This is the place. The supplies should be laid out, ready for you to pick them up. We need at least 6 water bottles, a couple of cans of peaches or whatever we've got there. And there should be a stack of flyers. Grab them too. Got everything? Fantastic. The tower isn't too far to go from here.
bull elk with a big rack is a sight to behold, and the Rocky Mountain elk has the largest antlers of any species in the elk family. I think I've even seen a couple of 7-pointers out here before.
You found the tower. There's hopefully a free shelf inside, somewhere you can stash the supplies. Oh, you should hang on to a couple of the flyers, though. Fantastic. That tower should have everything it needs now. How's the view from up there? It's great to have a hunter like yourself around. I'm grateful for your help with the supplies. I can't wait to hear your Silver Ridge hunting stories. Things have been quiet here recently. But with a hunter of your caliber on the reserve, we're gonna show folks that this is still the best place in the Rockies to hunt. Plus, you're not the only one working with us. We were able to convince Remy Warren to visit, and he's been logging his solo hunts out here for a week or so. He's got a pretty decent following online, so hopefully he's impressed with the reserve. When I proposed using social media to promote the reserve, the board were a little hesitant. But they're giving us a chance to try something new, and I'm sure it'll be worth it. So I suppose you were wondering why I wanted you to grab the flyers, right? There are people who come out here just to visit the lake. I'm fine with people standing on the shore, but until we know exactly what's going on, we need to keep people out of it. I had these flyers made up so we can pin them to our bulletin boards. There's a trail that leads straight to the lake, so I'd like you to pin up one of these flyers at the trailhead. Now, the flyers cover the basics: heavy metals, mining waste, and why to avoid diving in. It's not much, but until we know more, it's all we have. The lake is beautiful, and it's always pulled in visitors. It still looks the same as it ever did. Maybe even better, now that it's calm and peaceful. But now, I can't look at it without seeing what it did to my dad, or what it's doing to the reserve. People discover that we have one contaminated lake and assume that the reserve isn't worth visiting anymore. So far, the local wildlife seems okay, but our bookings for visitors, and especially hunters, have dried up. I have a few contingency plans that I want to try out. I'm a little nervous, though, as our board can be a little conservative. And if my ideas don't involve pulling in hunters, it can be really tricky to get them on board. It was easier to convince the board to invite yourself and Remy into the reserve, given that you're both hunters with good reputations. I'm glad you said yes. One down, one to go. Keep following the trail to the lake. Take a look at the water. If I hadn't told you, would you suspect that the lake was dangerous? We might not be able to monitor the lake 24/7, but at least now people have been warned. Thanks for taking care of that. It's such a strange feeling to be publicizing the very issue that is hurting us at the moment. I know it's the responsible thing to do, but it still feels slightly like self-sabotage. Our summer season has already started, and normally, this whole area would be covered with hikers. I've only seen a handful of people in the reserve recently. I'm sure that things will pick up eventually. But every day, I'm reminded that my dad was the major driving force behind this place. It's just bad timing, I suppose. We'd had some other issues with one of the board members, but that's in the past. The best thing to do is to keep pushing forward. I've got some big plans to help turn things around. Who knows? Maybe we'll have this place at full strength by the time my dad gets back in the saddle. I'm talking a lot about family stuff, aren't I? I suppose work and family are the same thing for me, you know? I've been watching my dad do this job since I was a kid. Let's change the subject, shall we? I've got a job that I'd like you to take care of. The big plans I mentioned before, one of these plans is a little passion project of mine. We're gonna need some gear. Rappelling gear, actually. I have stashed a few bags at one of the nearby outposts, and I'd like you to head over there and pick them up, when you can. I've been doing adventure sports for about 10 years or so now. It started with bouldering and rock climbing while I was on a high school trip. Last year, I got an accreditation as an instructor, and I was planning on teaching classes. When my dad got ill, I put it on the back burner. But now, I think we have a good opportunity to commit to it. Unfortunately, I'm a little too busy to teach classes just now. But one of my base jumping friends, Sammy, took the same course as me, so she's gonna lead the class instead. The gear is in here. I packed it into a couple of backpacks. It shouldn't be too heavy.
哎呦呦，
You got everything? There's a good rock face nearby that Sammy can use to teach her beginners. If I recall correctly, you also have some mountain climbing experience.
那就只是很单纯。
I get it.
我刚刚只是在破图，不是我刚刚一直在破图，所以我想把它返回原
There's
厂
some
设
good
定。
anchoring points at the top of the rock face. If you can get those ropes nice and secure, it'll save Sammy some time and help the class.
Reach the cliff, anchor the repelling ropes of. 哎。来，过来。哦，因为我那个阴影风解完了，不是阴影风，那个叫做那个点303我解完了，所以我也有303了。我觉得好用啊，但就怎么说，我不晓得1到3之间要用什么补。还有一个9的，要是那张图有9的话，那支枪就会不好用。就像现在有9的，我要拿着把7麦格农，不是，就点300麦格农那样。那就要多带一把枪那样。就我决定去解，原因是因为，对啊，而且还有一个9啊，它重点是它是4到8，不是4到9。它如果是4到9的话就很好，它又是4到8，然后就变成说，你如果要是那张图有到9的话，就不适合带那把枪。那这样子7N 会比它好，因为7N 可以打到9。然后那个它如果要是有1到3之间的1一定是要带2LR 啦，然后2、3之间又要准备其他的东西。这样子要是那个地图里面有1到9的所有东西的话，那就要带很多把枪，就要带4把。所以我才就是那张图特别要用的那把枪，因为那张图会比较好用。因为它是针对一张图很好用，如果那张图只有路的话，那把枪很好用。
But the old chairman of the board pushed back against anything that wasn't hunting. He was very old-fashioned, though. The patriarch of the Simpkins Electronics Empire. He even forced his vegan animal rights activist son, Timothy, to come with him on hunting trips to Africa. Accused the activist of brainwashing his son. The family reputation around here dropped quite dramatically when my dad caught Timothy drinking and dealing drugs inside the reserve. Simpkins actually used his power on the board to keep my dad quiet. But the next time my dad caught Tim in the reserve, he wasn't just dealing drugs. He had been poaching. Dad called it in without even telling Simpkins Sr.
就纽西兰那张图啊，用那把枪很好用。
But all credit to the board. They stuck with my old man. All these changes I want to make will hopefully account for the loss of the Simpkins' money and influence. This is just the start, too. I'm proposing snowboarding and extreme skiing for the winter. I've got some friends who I'd love to invite over to shoot some videos. Could be fun, don't you think? Anyway, if the rappelling goes well and makes a little money, I think the old folks on the board will start to come around. That looks great. I doubt I could have done a better job myself. Don't let the ropes down. We don't need them getting all tangled up. I really appreciate your help with this one. It's been an uphill battle to get to this point, and I'm disappointed that I can't be there to run the classes myself. If I'm being honest, I have a lot invested in the classes going well. There's still some people on the board who are friends with the old chairman,
没有啊，但
and it seems pretty
那个
clear
有
that
买
they
碎
don't
发
like
枪
me
那个刚去
proposing
吃
new
东西了。
ideas.
啊，干你老师，我按错了。好了，顺便调一下 graphic。它的 FOV 在哪里调啊？我看一下别人的 FOV 调多少好了。别人调60，好，我跟着别人调60好了，跟着别人走。A dangerous reaction. Travel to the uranium mine. 哪里啊？看。
Hey, so listen. There might be a situation going on at the moment, and I could really use your help to check it out. It's not just gold and silver mining that took place out here. Even more recently, there was a working uranium mine in the area. When the reserve was established, we took responsibility for keeping it safe. Anyway, the old uranium mine is very rarely a problem. But recently, it appears that one of our neighbors, a guy I went to school with actually, has been spotted camping out around the mine. His name's Bobby Joe Jefferson.
Oh, uranium.
He's normally just a nuisance, driving his quad bike around and setting up little shooting ranges with tin cans. He makes the deer and turkeys extra skittish, so the hunters hate him. Can you head over to the mine and see what's going on? He's allowed to hike and camp there, but I don't want him going anywhere near the entrance itself.
.因为它会比较扭曲啊，如果是曲面荧幕的话，那当然这样会比较好，但我不是。
There's nothing quite like bighorn sheep hunting. They have incredible eyesight, can detect movement over great distances, and are equally comfortable in alpine meadows and mountain slopes. So it's always difficult, but those horns are worth it. My advice is to stay well back and catch them unaware on lower ground before they have a chance to disappear up the tree line.
哎，没打到，好吧。好，打到了。 就说嘛。哇，没有打到那个要害。
Okay, first things first. Let's make sure that the mine itself is still secure. A trail camera? I've used these for work and for hunting before. This one shouldn't be here, though. We don't want hunters so close to the mine.
你说啥？
Grab the camera. Another trail camera.
拜拜。
Bobby Joe doesn't have a permit to hunt here. Is he poaching?
看他好会跑。我突然觉得我不应该带这个7mm，应该带那个7mm，可以打4到9哦。总觉得按下去就会爆炸。
This looks intact, at least. That's got to be a good sign. I don't really understand what's
Hopefully
going on
that's
with
the
the
last
cameras. But at
Pick
least
'em up
the
and I'll put 'em
entrance
in our
is
lost
secure.
and found when I can take 'em from
Let's
you.
go find his camp, shall we? It was actually Remy that called this one in. He doesn't know who Bobby Joe is, but I knew who it was as soon as Remy described him.
越跑越慢。哦 fuck！ 我要开车。我顺便把那个很强300来个弄。 7.62×54啊，莫西纳甘。
Rifle cartridges. That's not good news. Binoculars. Maybe he was hunting.
Replant the sign. 它现在在哪里？在这里。
A journal. Maybe this'll show us why he's out here. That's our uranium mining. Pick it up, would you? Government conspiracy? I'll be honest. I never credited Bobby Joe with this much imagination in high school. Replant the sign, and we're done here for now. You know what makes this extra weird? He actually has done some detective work. Enough to convince himself to camp here. The sign's back up? Great. This mine has never been a problem before.
What the fuck?
But let's not take any chances.
看他妈，这不是有一个
Me and
影
my
子，
dad
然
have
后
been dealing with Bobby Joe for
这个
years.
看不到的。
But this is new. I know he's a nuisance, but I always felt sorry for him. He had a pretty tough upbringing. I don't want to call the police, but I have to. He's armed and known for making poor choices. It would appear that it's not just the neighbors that are making questionable calls today.
Camping ground.
Sometimes folks from the city will drive out here to get away from work or their personal lives or whatever happens to be bothering them. The problem is that sometimes, quite often actually, people wander into the wilderness without a clue of how to survive if things go wrong. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. And based on a couple of phone calls I've had from the hospital today, I think that someone has made a mess and could use some help. I was going to check in on them myself, but I need to coordinate with the police on this Bobby Joe thing, and you're already really close by. Can you head over to the campgrounds nearby and check in on them? The phone calls were sporadic at best. As far as I can tell, this professional yoga and meditation expert has led a group of accountants from Denver into the wilderness on some sort of spiritual retreat. She took their cell phones away from them and had them eating wild flowers and berries. Some of them got sick and have gone directly to the hospital. I know that we're not the reason why this happened, but it could look very bad for us if anyone gets seriously hurt. I'd appreciate if you'd hustle and check it out.
"看这一段路真的很难跑真是都是山好烦。开车还是很慢啊。 快一些，没错。这游戏好吃显卡啊！
said they were bringing 20 people. Where is everyone? Is the leader in her tent? She goes by Jem. Jem Botten. Can you hear the phones ringing? I guess we know where she hid them then. The accountants have left. This is an absolute disaster. To make sure they got a bunch of poisoned accountants and a lone woman climbing a non-specific mountain. Next time someone tries to run a retreat out here, I'm gonna make them hire a professional guide. This is exactly the sort of thing I find myself fighting uphill against. It's hard to get going when stuff like this keeps... Okay, first things first. We need to figure out where Bodden's gone. I'll try to reach some of the accountants back at the hospital. Maybe they can help. I get the distinct feeling that she hasn't packed hiking boots or proper equipment for a climb. Maybe she'll turn back soon. I'll let you know if I hear anything, okay?
啊，这钱真好赚。
Today continues to throw up challenges for us. I have another job for you, and this one is urgent. We received a call from one of our neighbors, Norman, asking if we'd seen his dad, a longtime friend of the reserve. Apparently he's gone missing and he's taken all the family camping supplies with him. Around the same time, 2 hikers reported to us that they spotted a single old man laden down with gear, heading into a part of the reserve that is known for its bears. When they asked him if he needed any help, he politely declined and kept walking. Their description matches old Ted perfectly. Short white hair, green rain slicker, and brown leather boots. No gun. I'm trying to get a hold of Norman, but he said that he'd make some more calls just in case Teddy's gone to visit friends. I'm just getting his voicemail at the moment. While I sort this out, can you head over to where the hikers saw him and try to follow old Teddy's trail? He knows his way around here, so I have no idea why he'd wander into bear country.
所以是哪里？这里。OK。它的点好分散哦，它不能够做一个连贯一点的故事吗？先去这里。 可不可以给我摩托车，真的摩托车那种，好不好？重机，重机快一点，拜托。这种路要我真的来骑，大概就60、70在骑了，只要随时注意会不会撞到动物而已。对啊，角色会卸喷杯啊，现在一直以来都这样啊。我想要早点出门，早点到家。
That's the place. I found where the hikers spotted him. That's good news. Listen, I got a hold of Norman and he's on his way out here. But he's a couple of hours drive away. I told him that we were looking for his dad.
Find Ted.
Norman's really worried. He thinks that Ted has had a breakdown. Ted's wife, Jeannie, died a couple of weeks ago, and since the funeral, Ted hasn't been himself. The family were giving him as much space as they could, but now they're worried that he's fully isolated himself and he's made some bad decisions that have led him here. Norman took a trip to visit him, but when he arrived, Ted was gone, and so was his car. Norman remembers his dad saying that he proposed to Jeannie during a trip to Silver Ridge Peaks 45 years ago. That whole region is a beautiful valley, but nobody goes out there unarmed while the bears are roaming around. It might be a long shot, but can you gear up with whatever you need and head into bear country as soon as possible? If Ted's looking for where he proposed almost a half a century ago, I just hope he finds it before the bears find him. I'll mark the beauty spot on your GPS. Be careful in those parts. Keep your rifle handy at all times.
At all times. Fuck yeah. 把熊吓走，应该意思也是一样吧。
Shedding weight? The man is in his 70s. This must be a tough trek for him. This place has been torn apart. There's no blood, no body. He's left his pack here, though. He must be traveling light, but we can't wait for him to come back to camp. The bear could still be around. This is the beauty spot. But he's gone. There's no sign of an encounter. But look, Ted was definitely here.
你怎么知道的？干！哦。
Ted and Jeannie, 1978. I can't even imagine what's going through his head at the moment. My dad and I used to talk about men who would seek their solace in nature. He told me that if he didn't have my mom or me around, he'd eventually have just started living out here. I didn't believe him at first, but as I've grown older, it makes more sense to me. He's running from the pain he's feeling. Out there, he doesn't need to think about anyone or anything else. He can just be alone. Norman will be here soon. I told him that his visit will include a trip to bear country, so he's got a rifle to protect himself. I'll point him to his dad's old camp for now. It makes most sense for that to be where Ted will come back to whenever he's ready. There's no tracks for you to follow, and while I don't like the idea of him wandering around, Ted clearly wants to be alone out here.
Ted clearly wants to be alone out here. 吃饭吃饭，弄弄就走啦。
他那个到底弄完了没？
哪个？我不晓得，我不晓得啊。就
I might have a lead on our missing yoga instructor.
yoga instructor。
Sammy was driving home after the rappelling lesson, and she
我在
heard
引领
something
风
that could be Miss
回来
Bodden.
接。
She had pulled over to look under the hood of her car, and she swears she heard a scream from the woods nearby. And I asked her if it could have been an animal noise, but she seemed pretty insistent that it was a woman's scream. I know it's nothing solid to go on, but it could be what leads us to her. Can you check it out? I'll mark the spot on your GPS.
又要来哪边？给我。啊、天！ 把自己撞烂。就是把剧情跑一跑，那个 outpost 基本上也开完。他回来了哦，因为猫吃罐头，吃罐罐去了。
I'm sure I don't need to remind you. This is bear country. Sure, they're normally quick to turn tail and run, but they're extremely aggressive if their cubs are nearby. It's time for maximum caution.
不要问我，我不知道。噗噜噗噜。为什么会有这个哔哔哔的声音啊
Can you hear that? It's like a horn or something. Can you hear that? It's like a horn or something. An air horn app? I've heard of people trying to scare away bears and cougars with real-life air horns. Personally, I've never really trusted using sound to scare off a bear. Not permanently, at least. Well, that's the contact number I had for her. Cell phone service can be really poor out there, though. Still, she was here. There's no sign of her, is there? If she tried to hide from a bear up a tree, she found out pretty fast bears are great climbers. Those look like the fresh footprints on that tree. She made it out of there, heading west. Maybe she threw the water bottle in her phone to give herself a chance to escape. Are there any more clues? Still, now she has no phone and no water bottle. A bear! Be careful!
啊，哪里？哪来的 bear be careful？ 根本没看到 bear， 背个头啊！
Looks like someone forgot their bear deterrent. Mind you, if you're caught unaware, it might not help. I'll never forget the time I was hunting elk with a group of friends, and a 1,200-pound grizzly came in hot from 30 yards out.
Okay, got it. Not far from where you are, we have the old funicular railway.
Some of us had bear spray, but the wind was too strong to use it. The only reason we made it out alive is because the bear got confused when all 6 of us split up. It was like something out of a movie.
It's pretty big, and it's a tourist attraction. If Baden sees it, then maybe she'll head towards it to look for help. At the bottom of the track, there's an old shed that she could try to shelter close to. It's not much, but it's a start. Given how badly things have gone for her so far, I can only hope that she's not still planning to climb a mountain. I'm going to give the accountants another call at the hospital. See if they can't help us work out where her head is at.
Ah, 好麻烦，不错。哇，好直啊！前面一只动物，一群动物，什么动物？都会被撞。追不上它了。哦！它断线了，它断线了。靠北，我到底打它哪里？法克，飞翔，再跑一次。 回来啦！我知道啊。哦 ，bug， 以为是这个，还好没事。
Have been using the shed as a latrine and a scratching post. I'm meant to be taking a potential investor to tour the reserve this week. She cannot see this. Baden's not here. There's no sign of her. And I still can't get through to the accountants. They've left the hospital and don't have their cell phones. Can you put the shed back together and tidy things up a bit? I hate to do this, but there's no way I'm gonna make it out there before the tour.
嗯，没有，没。诶，这是什么东西？
It might be from a bear, but why would they come here? I don't see bears tearing that off. Thanks. It's probably still gonna smell pretty bad, but at least it's not covered in bear scat. Bears tend to stay away from humans, and we never kept anything that would attract them inside that shed. Are there any tracks nearby? The place looked fine when I was here last week. That's unexpected. The public don't tend to drive to the funicular, and if it was one of the staff, they'd use quad bikes. This looks like it was left by a car or a truck. I think someone has vandalized our property. It doesn't make a lot of sense, though. Why would anyone come all the way out here to do this? Maybe bored teenagers? I pulled some stupid pranks when I was young, but none involved ferrying around a bunch of bear scat. Given that this has happened to the shed, I'm a little worried about the railway itself. It's a unique tourist site, over 100 years old. It leads all the way up to Prosperity, the reserve's ghost town. It used to be home to the miners who came out here during the Silver Rush. I think it's a little creepy, but tourists like it. Would you check the track out, please? I would feel a lot better knowing it's okay.
Don't. 所以现在是在用樱花猫那个伺服器在玩的是吗？我说那台伺服器电脑啊。好哦。那大概就是1啊。
What? What's going on with the rail? Torn up? As in removed? How did they even... It's just been ripped out of the ground. Gone. This would have taken a crew and equipment. This isn't teenagers with too much time on their hands. This is the sabotage of one of our irreplaceable attractions. I need some pictures. I'm gonna send them to the police. I'm on hold with the sheriff's office. Then I think I need to call my dad. Since it appears that someone is trying to sabotage the reserve, I need you... Hello, yes, Sheriff Cole, please. I need you to head up to the ghost town and see if they've done any damage there. I'll check in later. Jerry, hey, thanks for picking up so fast. From vandals to poachers and mindless animal killers. This is escalating so quickly. Who would possibly want to do this? Some disgruntled former staff member? My dad and I haven't had any trouble with any of our staff, past or present. Can you take a look around? I want to know just how much damage these guys have done. If you find an animal, take a picture and send it my way, please. I'll save this for the police. Thanks.
他那个有几个要照相啊，就是要照那个死掉的动物，有几个要照啊？很多个只有大概几个？是在那个村庄里面而已吗？5个。
work. Got it.
这张里，这个我刚照过了吗？
A third. Okay.
对，我总共有4只，所以少了1只。好。
Another one? How long did this take them, I wonder?
"差1只，不知道在哪里。1、2，哦，那只。 这是照过了。应该照过了，果然。差1只找不到。有可能我已经找到了，但我现在不是很好
Is
看。
that the last of them?
找到了。
Hopefully this is the only place. Was that a door opening? Are they still here? Be careful. We know they're armed. What's that sound? It's horrible. End hunting now. What? Is this some kind of activist? I don't buy it. Those sounds... like animals dying. Take a picture of the text and send it over. I know we hunt animals, but making a quick, clean kill is paramount for us. How the hell has this happened? With the others? How did we go from thinking this was kids being a nuisance to armed poachers killing and torturing animals? This was something else. Needless cruelty. All to send us a message. The deputy sheriff is on her way over now. Listen, I don't think it's best for you to be chasing these people down now. They're armed, and they don't seem to care much for ethics or responsibility. I'd like you to get out of there, and the police will take over.
Huh?
There is actually one place where it's hopefully safe to send you, where you might find something that can help us. These people seem to know exactly how to hurt us. They've targeted our unique tourist spots and our animals. There's a fossil excavation site that I was planning to show our investor as well. It's It's abandoned just now as the college ran out of funding for the dig last year, but we've been keeping it safe for when they come back. It's basically just a shed and a hole, but it represents a good opportunity to interact with the local community and college. Tourists don't go there, but it's a big part of raising the reserve's profile in a way that doesn't involve hunting. Can you head over there and make sure everything is still locked up and secure? It's not good for our reputation if we can't protect a tiny dig site.
2.66公里。现在这个是要干嘛 ？Check out the dig site。哦，现在荧幕反光的好严重。我想要天气不好。这好像有一个峡谷，这应该是个峡谷。要走电车下去才行。对啊，他有另外一台电脑。不一定啊，看伺服器怎么设定了。牛猫，你那颗 CPU 是什么 ？Threadripper 吗？你那个是 Threadripper 吗 ？TR 吗 ？R9，所以不是 Threadripper。我以为你买 HDD。 是。他说樱花猫要买就直接上最好的。没有。我只是在好奇而已啊。干，真的，好像是个大巡演，不能这样干。爬山啊，反正这张图是无限爬山。拿什么东西？然后还有给什么吗？最后没有，钱也有。哦，好吧。给一把枪啊！每一关给一把。任务在800里开外。 哦，法克，这是大熊哎、但他不来。他说熊会 aggressive， 但是我没有看到他变 aggressive 啊。新的就是你说那个哦、你今天早上那边讲那个哦，看这是什么反重力摩托车？它的这种坡度还爬上去，这快45度哎！这什么车啊？好强哦！这是反重力摩托车哎！这是世界无敌强摩托车哎！我错看它了，对不起。它只是速度不快，可是它真的能够靠扭力的无敌强。他还没事，这么猛。那屋子看会掉线子啊，是没错。sorry，有些时候我没有那个没有回你，因为太专心。很累。看这个地方好远，世界无敌远，到底要怎么扯？ 直接从这边下去好了。哦，法克。这个飞得有点远。哦 ，God damn it！ 干，我直接从山的一头飞到另外一头，哎，什么鬼？然后又重跑一次，操，死掉了！不行，我要拐一点，先回到大路上。啊，终于回到这个大路上了。 它会引领风会跑到地图上面吗？就是剧情会跑到地图最上面吗？哦，那这个跨度也太大了吧，有点累哦。干，就是跑来跑去。真的。我知道不会得到什么道具啊，无所谓。我想开 outpost 而已，顺便走它的剧情开 outpost，因为它的剧情那个你边走的话，它就会经过一些 outpost，就会开。目前反光。Double long shot.
I have an update for you. Since the sheriff's office are all discussing what's been going on up here, it turns out that they've been sharing notes. One of the deputies actually pulled over a truck just outside the reserve. The truck was hauling a short chunk of rail track and two big heavy railway sleepers. Turns out the driver runs some kind of historical museum out in Arizona. He claims someone called Mr. Green reached out to him and offered him a chance to take home some historic railroad. The driver was confused, but was keen to grab a piece of Gold Rush history, so he drove out to retrieve a piece yesterday. Said that he and his son had to cut it out with a saw and lift it with a crane. He had receipts for the whole plant rent and everything. Obviously, we had nothing to do with this exchange, so the question becomes, who on earth is Mr. Green? The cops were going to ask me about it, but the guy was adamant that it had all been signed off by this Mr. Green. They just tried calling his number, and it's not recognized. They're gonna get in touch with the truck driver and get back to me.
啊，算了。
You're nearly there. It's not much, but you'll recognize it when you see it. Okay, so at least the site itself hasn't been touched. What about the tool shed? They left an inventory, but there wasn't much in there. Just some digging tools and a rock saw. I knew it. Of course they've been here as well. They've taken something. The rock saw is missing. I looked them up and they're like $500 brand new. This one was used and old. I doubt it's worth much. It was pretty heavy too. Have a look around. I wonder if they drove up here to get it. Gotcha. Okay. So they're in a car or truck and they've been here recently. I've got a plan, but we're gonna need to act fast. Grab a photo of those tracks and send it to me. I'm gonna round up some of my friends. Stay on the line. Okay, so we're going to lock down the barricades for all of our roads. Nothing gets in or out. I've rounded up a few people to help, but I've got a gate I need you to lock up. First thing you'll need to do is grab a padlock. I keep one in the closest lookout tower to the gate. Once you're inside, look for a locker.
那个是延迟还是游戏那个？说的是网络延迟还是本机？哎呀，又来！我只要一这样子，我上面什么都看不到。我解完这个，我就要去，我要关一下。 我没来收的是什么东西？我说戒指啊。2000。
That's the tower you need to check inside. Let me know when you've grabbed the padlock. You've got the padlock? Okay. Your GPS will show you where to find the right gate. We're almost there. The other roads are all locked down. Just your gate left to close. One of my friends says he arrived at his gate just as a truck was leaving. He recorded the license plate, though. The deputy's gonna take a look.
我是觉得很奇怪，觉得我明明来到这边，我是个付钱在那边打猎的人，然后我被别人叫去使唤来做这做那的。一下帮他清除道路上的垃圾，帮他调查这个调查那的，我都还没开始打猎呢。这好像是他们的工作。
That's the gate. Close it and lock it shut. Great work. If the criminals are still inside the reserve, they're gonna need to go off-road to escape. I feel better. The police are working with us now, and we have taken steps to get things back on track. The deputies share my suspicions about this being the work of animal rights activists. Sure, we get the odd email from time to time. A few years ago, my dad narrowly avoided having red paint thrown all over him by someone who had come looking for trouble. There's a group called the Activists for the Protection of Animal Rights, APAR. They've sent us some letters in the past. Thing is, it's been all calm on that front recently. And if you want to target, why us? We're not high profile. Until recently, that was my biggest problem. Plus, the sounds on that tape will be with me for a while. I don't think the person who recorded them is likely to be sensitive to animal rights. One thing I do know is that this lockdown is going to hurt us. People will talk. And I know that there are people on the board who are already considering replacing me. I do have better news, though. One of of the accountants got back to me about this meditation mountain that Baden was going to climb. She's ambitious, I'll give her that. She set her sights on one of our taller mountains, Mount Ursula. The police are in charge, so we have to take the back seat for a while. In the meantime, I'd like you to have another shot at finding Baden. She must be in a pretty rough state by now.
对啊，上面看到伺服器的那个 ping 就很高啊。那你自己进去玩一下，不就知道吗？你 ping 是最低的啊。对啊，对啊，我知道你 ping 最低啊。然后如果你进去会觉得延迟很高，那就是。 没有，你不需要啊，就是只是看是不是游戏的问题而已啊。我意思是，花2秒钟就捡起来。你当然没有 ping 啊，因为你的 ping 值很低，低到它不会显示啊。 就只是说你进去之后，会不会觉得很延迟之类的？根本是开车时光。 看可能8G 还不够呢。因为它的东西太多了，东西你又一直跑来跑去的。之前是用就是别人玩游戏的那个游戏机里面，不是都是16G 记忆体嘛，可以直接满满的给回去这样。那是一开始，好，先这样休息。关一下。